Katelia. So I'm demonstrating the consistent and partition tolerant version of the NoSQL database that we initially implemented. So let us look at the code just to understand the changes between AP and CP modes. So when a node comes up, that is at admin server, let's go to init config. So when the node comes up, all the nodes come up initially with node number 1 as the leader, and whenever there is a partition in the network, or there is resolution of a partition at a network, a new leader will be re-elected. So the logic that is followed is that the node with the lowest number is going to be the new partition leader whenever there is a partition. So let us look at a demonstration of the implementation. So I am right now inside my repository. I'll do a quick build and a Docker build of the implementation, and let me bring the nodes up by doing make startup. So that will bring the 5 nodes up and configure them to sync with each other. So while we are at it, I just wanted to show you this make file where I have written a couple of extra commands to tail the log file inside the Docker container. So I'll be using these to log into the to look at the output while we are creating and implementing the partitions and electing new leaders. Okay, so the nodes are up. Let's do a Docker PS. So we have 5 nodes up right here. Node number 5 is at 9005, and all the equivalent nodes right here. So let us start the shell for each of these nodes. So now that all the nodes are up, I want you to look at the leader of the nodes right now. So node number 1, that is the lowest node right now that we looked at in the code. So node number 1 is the leader, and you can see that reflecting on all the nodes. Okay, so let us do a curl request on any node other than node 1 and look at how it goes. So I'll do a curl on node 9005, that is node number 5. So what went wrong? Okay. /API/new. So I'm creating a key new and posting it at node number 9005. So it created a node at new key at 9005. So we still got a response from node 9005 because node number 5 has now forwarded the request to node number 1 and siphoned back the request response from node number 1 back to the client. So we can have a look at the shell now. So let's look at node number 5 first. So at node number 5, it received a request URL path sent from app server to app new. This is the URL request that it received request from. And now that it knows that it is for node 1, it is forwarding the request to API node 1 9090. This is the internal port that the container is working at. And from node number 1, it received this response, and this response it returned back to our client right here. And let's look at node number 1. So node number 1 got a get document new request it created a new document, and now it is syncing the creation of the new node with all the other 4 nodes. So this is the sync queue for all the other 4 nodes. So all the nodes would have received this request from node 1 and created that key on each of their own databases. So let's do a quick curl on all 4 of these, quick get on all 4 of these. So I'm doing a curl on 9001, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I got a quick response from all of them. Message thing 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So all of them have the same response. So now let's look at leader re-election in case of a partition. Let me partition node number 1 from all the other nodes. Let's take a moment to just wait for the nodes to sync back and detect the partition. So node number 5 is down at node 1. Okay, all the nodes are down for node 1. At node number 2. Now an interesting thing is happening at node number 2. It detected that node number 1 is now down, that was the leader, and now node number 2 is the lowest node in the cluster that is syncing with all the other nodes, and it has re-elected a new leader as node number 2. So all the other nodes 3, 4 and 5 should have the same information that new leader is node number 2. Okay, let us do a put request at node say 9003. Let's do it at 9003. So what we are expecting to happen is when we do a quick put on 9003, it will forward to 9002 and will sync back with all the rest of the nodes that are in the partition 2, 3, 4 and 5. So let's do that. Let's do a curl on nodes 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the key is the same, but the message now changed from thing to new thing. Alright, 2, 3, 4, 5 have new thing, and what I will do is let me do a quick get on node number 1 also to get the difference. So 2, 3, 4, 5 have new thing and node number 1 has message thing. So what I will do is I'll do a quick delete of this key on node number 1 and then reset the partition and look at how the cluster behaves. So on node number 1 I did a delete and it is now deleted at node number 1. Let's do a quick get and reconfirm. So node number 1 no longer has the document. So now when the cluster comes up, let me get the cluster up first. So now when the cluster comes up, node number 1 has the key deleted and 2, 3 and 4, 5 have it updated. Now as per our conflict resolution rules, the node number with the highest node number wins. So we expect the update from node number 2 to be replicated across the entire cluster. Okay. So let us do a quick curl before looking at the output. So the output at node 1, let's look at it one by one. So now node number 1 now has the update from node number 2. Node number 2 and 3, 4, 5 should have the same thing because they were in the same cluster. So new thing, new thing, new thing. So the cluster is now synchronized. Now let's look at what happened when the nodes came up. So at node number 1 it was already the leader because it was partitioned and alone. At node number 2 At node number 2, node number 1 came up and it became the new partition leader. So now we have a new partition leader in the node. It received a delete document request from node number 1, but because of conflict resolution, the winner was node number 2, and it synced the get document back to the other nodes, rejected the request, and sent it back to the other nodes. The same thing happened at nodes 3, 4, and 5. Only thing is, yeah, the new leader was 2, and after node 1 came up, the node number 1 was the new leader. You can see the same thing replicated on node number 4 and node number 5. New leader is node number 2, yeah, right here. So let us do one more test case. So we'll do this test case, make partition 2 and 2-3. So nodes 1 and 2 cannot reach nodes 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I was a little slow here. So nodes 1 and 2, they still have the same leader. 5, 3, 4 is down. 5, 3, 4 is down at node 2, and node number 1 is still the leader in this cluster. Now in this cluster, initially node number 2 was the leader, but now node number 3, that is the lowest node in the cluster, is the leader, and the same info is replicated across 3 and 5. So again, let us do a post on 9005. Let's call it node 5 this time. And the new message is node 5. So it received a response. So node number 5 must have forwarded this to node number 3. Let's look at it. Yeah, node number 5 right here. So node number 5 sent it to node number 3. It created the node, and now it has queued up the request for nodes 1 and 2 that are not reachable at the moment. So they are not being dequeued. And at node number 2, let's do a post on node number 2 as well, and let's call it node 2. Alright, so it must have forwarded to node number 1 to create the request. Should I do it at node 2? I did it at node number 5 again. Let's call it cluster 1. So cluster 1 stands for the cluster 1 and 2. So I did oh, so let's call it something. Okay, so we posted it on 9002. Now let us reset the partition. So node number 1 created this request and must have synced it back with node number 2. Yes, it requested, it synced it with node number 2. Let's do a reset. Nine thousand two, 2003, 2004, 9005. So all the nodes are synced back together. So that is all about the working for CP mode. Thank you.